All right, so vampire counts are spooky, right? They've got all of these Graveguard, which you usually see in a typical vampire counts roster, often spammed. Sometimes they'll throw in a Claw of Nagash. There's usually a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Uh, Often he's supported with another Terrorgeist or maybe with some Fellbats. I mean, this is a pretty standard vampire counts type of army that you're going to find on ladder. I'm going to show you the easiest way in the freaking world to beat it uh, as the Dark Elves, anyways. And you can use the same principle for other armies. Here you have basically an aerial mob squad. If you can win the aerial fight versus vampire counts, they're pretty much screwed. Like, if you're vampire counts, in my opinion, you have to win the air. You cannot compromise on that because you don't have shooting, and if you lose the air, that means all of the Dark Elf air units can basically cycle charge with impunity uh, all of the other units on your roster. And that's especially true if you don't bring Crypt Horrors and if you only have like one unit of Blood Knights. So here's what I did. This was my counter. I took just a blended Harpy Manticore Black Dragon combo. And what I did, I camped two defensive units on the absolute far corners of the map at the back of my deployment zone. So usually what Vampire Counts likes to do is they like to have a death ball and they like to go straight into you and hit you with the death ball. And what I did by putting my units on either side, I was basically forcing the death ball to split up and baiting him into a mobility game, right? So if he goes with all of his forces over here, that's going to buy me time. Like, these forces are going to live, and that'll buy me time to kill his vampire lord. And if he goes with all of his forces over here, same thing's true. And if he splits his forces, then I can concentrate my forces and isolate his pockets one at a time. So essentially, like, he was basically screwed right off the deployment. So I'm gonna just fast forward here and show you what happens and like how probably pissed he was and like unsure of what the hell to do. So first, like, he tries to kite with his blood dragon vampire lord. I just basically screen him out. Like, I can pin him off. He's pretty quick, but I did bring a Shadow Sorceress, so I do have access to Malakos if I needed to snare him. I did screw up a little bit, actually. I meant to put the Sorceress of Shadow on a flying mount, so if you want to fully optimize this build, that would be my recommendation. But anyway, she did okay on the horse. She was able to basically prevent these Hexerwraiths from doing too much. Oh, by the way, the reason these units you put in the corner, you want those to be Spears and Blackguard, because the fastest units that the vampires can send to you are all going to be like cavalry and mounted things, and so Spears and whatever are going to do the best against that. The Graveguard, like, is going to take 3 days for them to get there in time, so you don't have to worry about them too much. So yeah. So here comes his one unit of Fellbats just mucking me up and trying to like desperately protect this lord, but like they're already crumbling off of that, and once they're gone, like, he's fully isolated, and you know, he's probably popped a couple of invocations of Nahek, and you can see he's already hit his healing cap, like the healing cap bar has come in there, and like, he just instantly rage quits because once his once his lord is gone, he knows that I can isolate each of these pockets and it's over. So if you want to know like the easiest way to beat a vampire counts army, I think that's it. And if you are going to play vampire counts, I would strongly advise you to make 100% sure that you are going to win the aerial game, because otherwise, I mean, that's the simplest counter to your build and there's basically nothing you can do about it. Maybe if you took Van Hel's Dance Macabre, you could kite it a little bit better. Um, and I think, like, you know, you would need some Terrorgeist or some Vargeist to help support in that fight. So that's all from now. Thanks, bye.